Hello, everybody. This is The Home in the World by Rabindranath Tagore. Chapter 7, Sandip's Story, Part 9. Our work proceeds apace, but though we have shouted ourselves hoarse, proclaiming the Mussulmans to be our brethren, we've come to realize that we shall never be able to bring them wholly round to our side. So they must be suppressed altogether and made to understand that we are the masters. They're now showing their teeth, but one day they shall dance like tame bears to the tune we play. If the idea of a united India is a true one, objects Nico, Muslims are a necessary part of it. Quite so, said I, but we must know their place and keep them there, otherwise they'll constantly be giving trouble. So you want to make trouble to prevent trouble? What, then, is your plan? There's only one well-known way of avoiding quarrels, said Nico meaningly. I know that, like tales written by good people, Nico's discourse always ends in a moral. The strange part of it is that with all his familiarity with moral precepts, he still believes in them. He's an incorrigible schoolboy. His only merit is his sincerity. The mischief with people like him is that they will not admit the finality, even of death, but keep their eyes always fixed on a hereafter. I've long been nursing a plan which, if only I could carry it out, would set fire to the whole country. True patriotism will never be roused in our countrymen unless they can visualize the motherland. We must make a goddess of her. My colleagues saw the point at once. Let us devise an appropriate image, they exclaimed. It will not do if you devise it, I admonished them. We must get one of the current images accepted as representing the country. The worship of the people must flow towards it along the deep-cut grooves of custom. But Nico's needs must argue even about this. We must not seek the help of illusions, he said to me some time ago, for what we believe to be the true cause. Illusions are necessary for lesser minds, I said, and to this class the greater portion of the world belongs. That's why divinities are set up in every country to keep up with illusions of the people, for men are only too well aware of their weakness. No, he replied, God is necessary to clear away our illusions. The divinities which keep them alive are false gods. And what of it? If need be, even false gods must be evoked, rather than let the work suffer. Unfortunately for us, our illusions are alive enough, but we do not know how to make them serve our purpose. Look at the Brahmins. In spite of our treating them as demigods and untiringly taking the dust of their feet, they're a force going to waste. There will always be a large class of people given to groveling, who can never be made to do anything unless they are bespattered with the dust of somebody's feet, be it on their heads or on their backs. What a pity if after keeping Brahmins saved up in our armory for all these ages, keen and serviceable, they can't be utilized to urge on this rabble in the time of our need. But it's impossible to drive all this into Nico's head. He has such a prejudice in favor of truth, as though there exists such an objective reality. How often have I tried to explain to him that where untruth truly exists, there is indeed the truth. This was understood in our country in the old days, and so they had the courage to declare that for those of little understanding, untruth is the truth. For them who can truly believe their country to be a goddess, her image will do duty for the truth. With our nature and our traditions, we're unable to realize our country as she is, but we can easily bring ourselves to believe in her image. Those who want to do real work must not ignore this fact. Nico only got excited. Because you've lost the power of walking in the path of truth's attainment, he cried. You keep waiting for some miraculous boon to drop from the skies. That's why your service to the country has fallen centuries into arrears. All you can think of is to make of it an image and stretch out your hands in expectation of gratuitous favors. You want to perform the impossible, I said, so our country needs must be made into a god. You mean you have no heart for possible tasks, replied Nico. Whatever's already there is to be left undisturbed. Yet there must be a supernatural result. Look here, Nico, I said at length, thoroughly exasperated. The things you've been saying are good enough as moral lessons. These ideas have served their purpose as milk for babes, at one stage of man's evolution, but will no longer do now that man has cut his teeth. Do we not see before our very eyes how things, of which we never even dreamt of sowing the seed, are sprouting up on every side? By what power? That of the deity of our country was becoming manifest. It's for the genius of the age to give that deity its image. Genius doesn't argue, it creates. I only give form to what the country imagines. I'll spread it abroad that the goddess has vouchsafed me a dream. I will tell the Brahmins that they have been appointed her priests, and that their downfall has been due to the dereliction of duty in not seeing to the proper performance of her worship. Do you say I shall be uttering lies? No, say I. It's the truth. More, the truth which the country has so long been waiting to learn from my lips. If only I get the opportunity to deliver my message, you'll see the stupendous results. What I'm afraid of, said Nico, is that my lifetime is limited, and the result you speak of is not the final result. It will have after effects, which may not be immediately apparent. I only seek the result, said I, which belongs to today. The result I seek, answered Nico, belongs to all time. Nico may have had his share of Bengal's greatest gift, imagination, but he's allowed it to be overshadowed and nearly killed by an exotic conscientiousness. Just look at the worship of Durga which Bengals carried to such heights. That is one of her greatest achievements. I can swear that Durga is a political goddess and was conceived as the image of the Shakti of patriotism in the days when Bengal was praying to be delivered from Muslim domination. What other province of India has succeeded in giving such wonderful visual expression to the ideal of its quest? Nothing betrayed Nico's loss of the divine gift of imagination more conclusively than his reply to me. During the Muslim domination, he said, the Maratha of the Sikh asked for fruit from the arms which they themselves took up. The Bengali contented himself with placing weapons in the hands of his goddess and muttering incantations to her. And his country didn't really happen to be a goddess. The only fruit he got was the lopped-off heads of the goats and buffaloes of the sacrifice. The day that we seek the good of the country along the path of righteousness, he who's greater than our country will grant us true fruition. The unfortunate part of it is that Nico's words sound so fine when put down on paper. My words, however, are not meant to be scribbled on paper, but to be scored into the heart of the country. The pundit records his treatise on agriculture in printer's ink, but the cultivator, at the point of the plough, impresses his endeavor deep in the soil.